I recently had the opportunity to travel to San Francisco and meet up with Colin Goudie, the editor for Rogue One. Rigid non-disclosure policies barred him from saying anything really earth-shattering, but he still had some interesting things to say about his experiences as an editor and his involvement with Rogue One.
What's really interesting about Rogue One is pretty much to a man and a woman, most people on the production are huge Star Wars fans. There's a few people on the crew who had to watch 7 movies before they started on Rogue One, but that was very few. Probably 1 or 2% of people were like that. The other 98% really knew those movies. What's interesting about that is you can't let that dictate how you're going to work, because on Rogue One, for instance, they want a different kind of movie. They want a standalone film. They want it to be a new breaking out. So you have to be mindful of the past but look to the future. And we've seen that with a number of reboots of other franchises as well. They did it with Star Trek, where they took things in a different direction with the movies. So we're not doing anything new in that respect, but we are treading mindful of our past. And I have all the original movies on the Avid, and I refer back to them constantly. I'm like, how long did they hold that shot in the original film? And I'll go and look at stuff, because sometimes you think, oh, that's a bit too quick. You look at the cutting on New Hope, it's incredible. The final space battle on attacking the Death Star in New Hope, the cuts, the duration of the shots they hold on the X-Wing pilots, it's really short. And you would think on a movie that was 40 years old, they wouldn't be cutting as fast as we do these days. They really did. So that's a really useful point of reference. 2 things that Gareth does a lot and likes to do. He likes to describe it as, there's 2 ways of shooting a target. And one is, you put a target on the wall and you shoot and you try and hit the bullseye. And that's the usual conventional technique of filming. And the other technique is, shoot the wall, and then when you get the best grouping, go and put your target where that was. And that's kind of his jokey way of saying, go out and shoot a whole load of material and then go and find in that material the very best moments and make your story be that. And then if you're like, oh, but to turn that corner story-wise, we need this, you go out and pick that up. And we were doing pickups, we did pickups on monsters, did them on Rogue One, did them on Godzilla. It's one of those things. And I'd say it's a common thing for all big movies now. And one of my friends said to me the other day, they said, is it going to be a real pain for you that from now on people are only ever going to want to talk to you about Rogue One? And I was like, why would that be a problem? I mean, if that's what people want to talk to me about, bring it on, you know? That is, you are blessed. To work on a film like Rogue One, no question. You have been blessed by the gods. When you're cutting a film, what you do is you'll start off with all the things that are wrong with it. You've got that first assembly and you look at it and you're like, oh wow, you know, there's 100 things wrong with it, or 1,000 things. And then you fix the most obvious, and it might be 100 things. And then you discover a new 100 things that weren't quite as bad as the first 100, and you keep going until somebody says, this film's going out tonight.